Hello.
Hi, everyone. We're back this week, and look who's in Chicago.
Oh, my God. Just like old times.
So exciting. Except for that I'm sitting here today because we are just doing it live, folks. Truly.
In true Bill O'Reilly fashion, we are indeed doing it live. And Nick is our producer today, so crazy things happening over It Lives to
Shout
Tell.
out Nick.
Yep.
Shout out Nick.
Are you mic'd? I have to ask you for M.
I tried finding it.
He's not mic'd. We did our best, but here we are. So yeah,
right.
Nick's running the show today. So
If we get cut off, he was just
we just wanted to
unimpressed.
let you guys know that on the front end.
All right, let's start things off. These stories are like A+ this week.
I'm excited. So I'm going to tee you up and then let you dive in.
Just say my thoughts.
Fantastic. We are talking about this awesome ad that I personally find quite hilarious. Philadelphia cream cheese started a conspiracy theory that Cheesecake was actually at the first Thanksgiving meal, despite a whole bunch of technological advances that hadn't yet occurred, namely no other ingredients being made yet except for eggs and milk. But they dove into a photo of the first Thanksgiving, one illustration that appears to potentially have a cheesecake in the back of it, and are rolling with it in order to kind of insert cheesecake, which needs Philadelphia cream cheese to be made, obviously, into Thanksgiving dinner and the Thanksgiving dessert table, which is sort of brilliant to make yourself relevant at a holiday where you don't normally have a place. It's very regimented what is present at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want to jump ahead to another story, but in meme culture today, like where people are trying to find ways to insert themselves.
Attached to the microphone over here. It's fine.
I've done that before. It's just like, oh, it's fine. Like when people are trying to find ways to like create like a funny meme, like the ad itself is funny where they're like pointing to like this is it. It's very reminiscent of like a typical like dumb thing you can see online that would make you chuckle. So I agree. It's a great way to get your name out there. People are going to talk about it. And yeah, no one thinks of cheesecake at Thanksgiving. So now maybe someone will.
I think of cheesecake at every holiday gathering meal. It's fine.
All right. Celebrity.
Oh my God, he's back.
Just when you thought that I'd never find another reason to talk about Papa John, he does some weird shit.
So the short story here is that Papa John says that Papa John's, his former company, that he no longer plays any part in. He may have some shares. Apologies for being uneducated there at this juncture. But it's been changing for 2 years in my defense. But he contends that his namesake company has changed their pizza recipe, which he knows because he ate 30 or 40 pizzas in 30 days. And that's the conclusion that he drew. So what do you make of that, Cass?
I love that his scientific research was 40 pizza in 30 days. I want to know what days were the double pizza days.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And like, did he just eat one slice of each? Because that pollutes the research pool, no?
True, and like
did he eat the
toppings.
entire pizza? Oh yeah, good point. I didn't even think about that.
So many things, different sauces, but it's like,
We're questioning the validity of this experiment,
you just
Papa.
eat too much pizza,
Mr.
and by
John.
the end of it, you were like going crazy from like a gluten high or something. I don't know, like what. I don't know. Lay off whatever you were taking with the pizza.
Anyway, good to have you back, Papa John. Good to have you back.
Can't wait to see what's next. You know we love talking about you. Oh boy. All right. Cash money. I love this story personally because I'm pumped for it. Not that I have like money to shop it, but
I am so excited to just state this topic and pass it off to you.
Perfect.
So, Louis Vuitton's parent company is set to buy Tiffany's, American institution Tiffany's, as made famous by the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, is being purchased for $16.2 billion cash.
crazy. I'm just personally excited from a consumer standpoint to see a Louis Vuitton runway at Fashion Week with Tiffany jewels. Really, that's just my end game here. Again, not that I'm like a frequent shopper. But I do think that it's a smart move because Louis Vuitton has never really played like a namesake within the jewel space. Like even if you think of someone like Gucci, they at least have like belts and Chanel has earrings and there are things. It's a great way to diversify. And 16.2 billion cash, it's one hell of a deal, but
yeah, that part of it's incredible too. And you make a really good point too, because I think that like the luxury market is super like segmented and like there are specific players in very specific retail segments of it. So anything you can do to diversify outside of that is huge. And this parent company of Louis Vuitton is having a huge year. They signed Rihanna earlier, which I feel like we talked about on this podcast, that she's launching their line with them.
It's going to be like
Money,
epic.
man,
So
money.
much money. All right. Forward thinking.
Oh, okay. Forward thinking this week. I think this is pretty cool. So, in a lot of our reporting on 1851, in a lot of our conversations on this podcast, we've talked about the evolution of third party delivery. And with that, the onset of ghost kitchens, which I think are super fascinating and delivery only hubs. And so, this business out of Miami that owns a ton of parking structures is getting into the ghost kitchen game and establishing these ghost kitchens in their parking structures that are already built. Granted, I'm sure there's like some ventilation and like kitchen build out that has to occur. But I think it's so smart to link the giving yourself a space in which you have ample parking right to connect with these ghost kitchens that are only producing things that are going out. But then you're also getting having this pre-built structure that you already own in which you are investing further to then create recurring revenue to come out of it. I don't know. I thought it was like the coolest move.
Well, yeah, what a brilliant way to diversify what you're doing. Like, hey, we own all these buildings. Not all of them are getting used all the time. Here's this new thing that would cost us no money. We can just rent it out. People can throw a kitchen in there and then we get more money from it.
Right.
It's genius.
And and so as far as recurring revenue is concerned, like you can sell parking spots in a parking structure, but a lot of the time there's going to be extra space in there. So you're creating this lucrative aspect of what is a structure that you typically build and just leave there until it disintegrates, right?
All right. I like it. Friend or foe? I think, and this is the first time that I've ever said this in my life, but Disney is a foe this week, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
I think so too.
So obviously Disney Plus has been like everywhere because people are obsessed with all like the reboots and all the like original shows that they're doing for it. So I personally would know nothing about Star Wars, but like I do know that Baby Yoda has been a thing that's been trending everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's a like cute little alien nugget guy. So people were like obviously as I was alluding to earlier, memeing him. Him? I think it's a him.
I haven't seen the movie. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, we're the worst people to talk about Star Wars. So people were like making memes of Baby Yoda, and it's been everywhere. And then Disney, they kind of are skirting around any of their involvement with it, but they pulled the like licensing for the imagery. I forget what site it was.
Giphy was
thank you.
All of their Baby Yoda memes and GIFs that had been created were off the site. And when they were inquired about it, they said it was due to copyright infringement and like licensing issues. But then Disney kind of backed away from that. But the real question here and why Disney is a foe is like in all of the greatness that they've done with the marketing of Disney Plus, like how are you going to remove yourself from a viral moment such as this to detract any attention from that's being generated toward your movie? I just don't understand.
Right. And you're competing against Netflix, which arguably has become one of the best content creators when it comes to like meme culture and like being able to pull stuff. And it's, look at there's the case studies, the NFL. They pulled all their footage. People weren't allowed to use it. Then the NBA came in and was like, have at it, fandoms. Like, do whatever you want to do. And it was such a success. Do your homework. Like, you're Disney. You have the money. You have the resources. You have the people. You can't take away that creative licensing. And yes, I understand that you own Baby Yoda, but people have the opportunity to share it. All that's going to do is get you in front of more people. I know nothing about Star Wars, and now I know about Baby Yoda.
Right.
Because people were memeing it online.
Totally. And I think that it not only does it connect you to an audience you may not otherwise have been able to reach with just where Star Wars is, despite even that's massive reach.
Right.
But it just seems like Disney is playing this old game, whereas like the whole move of getting into streaming is to reach that different consumer. And this is absolutely a part of that. And they need to realize that, or, these kinds of things are going to keep happening and it's only going to ding their rep.
Totally. And I'd rather that they own it and they were like, our bad, versus being like, oh, it was a miscommunication. Like, no, you tried to take creative control over it and it backfired. Now you're like afraid to admit it. So I don't know. Still love you, Disney, but do better.
Retweet.
All right. Am I heating up?
Yes, you are absolutely.
I actually have a lot of thoughts on your column this week, so I'm excited for this one.
We're talking to Nick and not looking at him. He is definitely in the room. So take it away, Cass.
So this week, Nick's column is about how to stand out in the hiring process and some of the struggles that have been occurring recently. So I obviously cannot speak to this first person, but I feel like I've seen some of it. So obviously when you're looking for a job, it's a dime a dozen. You can click easy apply on LinkedIn and just send your resume to people at the drop of a hat. But if you're not, I was surprised to read in this column the amount of people that weren't sending cover letters to our company when they're applying for a job, and the lack of following up. So there were 40 people that Nick had emailed and only 10 people responded. And these are people that actively applied for a position.
Wow.
So when it comes to standing out, obviously you want to be very creative when it comes to, especially in our industry, we work in a creative industry. It's a little bit more out there. But just take the time. If you're looking for a new job, prove to them that you can do the job, and show that like these are the steps that I'm willing to take to get this job and how hard I'll work when I get there. So things like not responding, I mean, it's clearly not going to get you in the door. This seems so basic, the fact that I'm even like saying these points of advice, but I just take care. And it can't just be insert company here, slice and dice. Like companies are different. I remember there was one kid that used to work here who sent like ping pong paddles to our office or something when he was interviewing. And it's like, genius. Of course he worked here and he was great.
And I think that the very most basic level at which you can prove your proficiency in a job is to meet and follow all of the steps laid out in the application process. I don't think that's too much to ask, and I think it's frankly the bare minimum.
And don't bullshit. Like, there are going to be things that you don't know how to do, and that's okay. Don't say that you're going to be great at social media and then not have your own social following online. Like, you need to be able to know what it is you're getting yourself into. Be smart. That's all I got.
Boom. Boom.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm very thankful for everyone in this room who none of you can see. I'm great. I'm thankful for anyone that made it this far in this podcast on a holiday week. And
most definitely. Thanks for bearing with us, you guys.
Yeah.
This was fun. Cass, great to have you back in
I know.
the
It's so much
office.
fun. And
Back more often.
give us a shout. Give us a like on social, Scott Thompson. Bye.